Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, those who love StarCraft as much as I do, if not more or less, give or take. My name is Dr. Spurs, and I will be taking you through a night tonight that I have decided to make Trent-themed. And if you don't know who Trent Martin is, you will be familiar with his playstyle by the end of the night, as he saved me the job of finding replays to cast by sending me 3. So I will absolutely be going through 2. I'm not sure about the third one, depends on my mood, and I'm pretty sure it's a 2v2, and 2v2s are kind of weird. But I might cast it anyway, just because I need to get more stuff up. But it shall be a Trent Martin themed night, so let's go through the folders here from Trent. Alright, we got a 1v1 cast, and tech switched, and then a 2v2 for Brando. Let's go with, let's start with ZVP. Just because it's labeled 1v1 cast. And I mean, hopefully it holds true to its name, but here we go. We're going to go through the first game of the night with Dubside. Oh my goodness, close that. So that we don't know how long this game lasts, but we have Dubside, Trent Martin, who is the theme of tonight, the star of the show. He has the center spotlight today. He will be spawning as the red Zerg on the lower left-hand corner, and we have his opponent, Stevo, who is spawning as the blue Protoss here on the upper right-hand corner. The map is Xel'Naga Caverns. There are 2 watchtowers here in the middle that watch over the gold bases for each player. There is a natural that is very hard to defend. There is also a safer third here in the back, but there is destructible rocks in between, and that is all you need to know about this map if you are not familiar with the game at all. But I think Zerg are at a huge disadvantage on Xel'Naga Caverns, because it's really difficult for them to take a third. And even then, even if they do secure the third, it is so difficult to get a fourth, in my opinion. And from what I've talked to people about it, and that seems to be the general consensus, is that this is not a Zerg-friendly map. However, I am sure Dubside would not let me down. He would not submit a replay of him if it was not him just kicking total Protoss. Whatever the heck. Do Protosses have asses? If they did, Dubside would be kicking it as hard as he could, because that is just the way he rolls. He will be sending in this drone to scout the Protoss base. He will see that there is no gas here at 14, but I'm sure one is on the way, as he does have a probe selected. There is the gas. Very standard here to pick up your gateway and then gas, as far as I know, as far as my knowledge. Proceeds, I guess proceeds is probably the wrong word, but we do see Dubside is picking up the standard normal 14 hatch here on the right side of the map in his natural. He's picking up his gas as well before his pool. No sign of a pool yet. And the probe will make note of that as he circles himself around in this huge, goofy star pattern. We have Dubside doing the same thing with his drone, just kind of running him around randomly. We do have the cybernetics core, and it will not be placed up here closer to the ramp. It's actually placed back here. Oh, I betcha. No, maybe not. He goofed up this wall somehow, and he couldn't get... I mean, usually you have a cybernetics core right here, and then the gateway on the right side, and it's a zealot type. Or sometimes the cybernetics core goes in the middle, actually. That's more often that I see, and then the zealot stands here. But it looks like Stevo kind of goofed. He slipped up. He was not paying attention, or so, and he messed his wall up, but it shall be salvageable. That is not necessarily a terrible wall, and he is picking up his second gateway. Lots of chrono boost saved up. He will be chrono boosting out warp gate. So will he be going some kind of 4-gate or 3-gate robo? I'm not sure. 3-gate stargate? Maybe. We do see that the spawning pool has finished for Dubside. He is gathering up his gas, probably to go straight for speedlings here in 6 gas, or that's actually 8. Now it's 4. But there it is. We do see speed starting as soon as he has the money. He has a few drones here. That one of them was picked on by that probe, but I'm pretty sure it's dead now, as this drone does have a singular kill. So he had the last laugh and slayed the other probe. We do have a 3rd gateway here. And, ooh, what is the 4th structure out of Stevo gonna be? He did supply block himself, which is unfortunate. It will slow down this gateway, but not too terribly much. He is chrono boosting out more, not the probes, but more on the gateway, warp gates, excuse me. Can't actually chrono boost buildings. while they're warping in, but we have Dubside, who has supply blocked himself as well, so that seems to be the name of the game, just taking turns supply blocking yourselves, because you have to give the other player that advantage, you know, you're just so good that you have to play with that handicap, that self-appointed handicap of supply blocking. We have 2 Zerglings here that will be spotting for when any kind of an army moves out, and we do see that Stevo has chosen the path of the robotics facility, so we will be seeing some Immortals, or maybe a Warp Prism or 2. And there are a lot of different ways, not a lot, but there are a few different ways you can take that robo play. We do see the Warp Gates has finished, and I am anxiously awaiting his timing push, as we do see Dubside is preparing in advance, though. He does have 2 spine crawlers here on the front, so either it's out of paranoia or just out of habit. He does have static defenses ready, and this Zergling is still sticking around to poke about, and he will get this probe for free. So those of you who enjoy the free dance, if you do not know what the free dance is, if this is your first video, then it will not be executed. The free dance will not be partaken here at this time, but the free dance, for future knowledge, is the dance you do when you get stuff for free. Stevo, what are you doing? Oh my goodness, he has trapped his stalkers in here with his wall. That is very unfortunate. He will lose power to his cybernetics core, but that is kind of funny. He as well has appointed his own handicap and supply blocked himself in the act. That 1 Zergling will go down for free, so now you can do the free dance. The dance you do when you get stuff for free. We do see Trent Martin. Dubside is spreading out his creep very nicely. He is about to be supply blocked here in 1 supply. So there is the immortal, the reason he has this robotics facility. But his army seems kind of dinky. It's 8 minutes. Oh, excuse me. As I yawn. Oh man, Dubside's just got this on lockdown. This game is so boring. No, I'm just kidding. But this army seems kind of small. He does have a second immortal here that will be coming out, so he will be fully prepared to just go ahead and turn these roaches to mush. So I'm a little worried for Dubside. I don't believe he is aware that immortals are on the way, as he has not seen any indication. He's only seen a warp gate. I don't know if a Zergling died to the immortal, because I saw a stalker kill it, but I don't know if he did see the immortals. Ooh, excuse me, that is my dinner. But he will be picking up another spine crawler and another round of drones. 6 more drones are coming as the army is making its way over, but the Overlord might be able to spot it here. It actually won't see anything. So the Overlord will be getting a dock in his pay, unfortunately, as he is not aware of this army, and this could really take Dubside by surprise. The supply count, Dubside does have a lead, but I'm sure some of that has to do with workers, and it looks like the Protoss player is just going to walk right into the spine crawlers and then back off. And Dubside is refusing to fight under anything but his spine crawlers, but the Protoss will just go ahead and run straight past the spine crawlers and get up into the main, and now he has advantage of this ramp here, and he is force-fielding off the roaches, but going ahead and standing at the base of the ramp, taking the damage anyway. But now these Immortals have free reign of the main, and it looks like they're just going to straight up snipe the lair, and the force field does go down again, so Dubside is completely helpless. He only has 4 roaches here that will be spawned, but 1 Immortal is turning its attention to the roaches, and oh my goodness, this lair is so close to dying. Focus the Immortals on the lair. What are you doing, Mr. Protoss? Focus the lair. This is taking longer than it needs to. But the evolution chamber goes down, as well as the lair. Finally, there it is. Perma force fields were placed on the ramp, and it looks like the roaches did manage to squeeze their way in here, and the drones are now just kind of standing as a decoy. He is focusing down the Immortals, or at least one of them. There goes the focus fire on the second one, but this Immortal here has 8 kills. He has killed 8 freaking things. That's so many things for 1 unit to have as far as kills. This one has 3 or 4. So this Stalker army is just tearing things up, but the reinforcements are being cut off here by the Spine Crawler and the Roaches. But this is big trouble for Dubside. He is now on even basis. He has lost his layer tech. That is absolutely huge. He's continuing with the Roach production. He did lose another Overlord, but he's in no way about to be supply blocked. Really sad that he didn't save these drones. Just have him run away. But hey, you gotta buy yourself time. He is trying to mess up another Roach army. Meanwhile, this 1 Stalker is just poking away at this refinery, and we do see that Stevo is picking up his natural now at the 12-minute mark. So I really feel like Stevo's expo is a little bit late. That is definitely an advantage. He could have been pushing from minute 7 or so, 7 or 8. And Dubside has successfully cleaned up the attack, but not before the damage is done. He will go ahead and retake his main, and we do not see the layer tech here on the natural hatchery. I almost called it a hive. We do not see the layer tech starting there. We have one immortal that has joined the fray, and we do see Stevo throwing down 3 more gates, so he's going the classic 6-gate robo. He will be needing more to support, but that is all he can really support at this time. We do see Trent Martin is mobilizing. I keep going back and forth between Trent and Dubside. I need to just stick to, like, Dubside. Dubside he is mobilizing his roaches, and he is out for revenge. He's going to check this watchtower, and then get this pylon full free after walking past it, so more free dances are to be had, but I am scared of this army. This 2 immortal army could definitely, if positioned well with force fields, rip apart this roach army. But we do see that there is a 40 supply, or not a 40, like a 20. That was so exaggerated. That's twice the amount of supply. He has a 20 supply difference here, but he will go ahead and get the jump on Stevo. But Stevo has great position on the ramp, and he will force Dubside away. Dubside will be taking this pylon with him, though, at the expense of 1 roach, and it looks like he's going to try to take the Zealot there at the expense of another roach. So there is back and forth trading. The Immortals already have 1 kill each. They both were the ones who dealt the killing blow to those 2 roaches that died. And this probe is on strike. He is not actually working, and we see Dubside is picking up his 3rd down here. And he will be, again, at a 1 base advantage against this Protoss. The worker count is surprisingly even. The Protoss player is running 30 to Dubside's 28. So Stevo has just now, as we see, begun chrono boosting out more probes to saturate his natural, and Dubside is leaving 1 roach to hold the watchtower here. And Stevo, if he acts now, oh my gosh, if he goes now, there are 8 drones in production. He has no idea that that's happening, of course. But if he were to go after all that larva was just spent, and he really used his immortals properly, he has 3 now. He has 3 immortals, and he's not moving out, especially when he has this observer, and he knows that Dubside is pure roach. I really feel like it's a mistake for Stevo to sit back and be passive right now. The only reason I would say it's okay to be passive is if he was waiting on a 4th immortal, but he is not. He's actually just camping his army out, which I feel is a mistake. And it looks like this reminds me of my good old days in band. You know, when you make your arc in marching band, you practice your warm-ups, and your director stands here and yells at you when you suck, and which is quite often. Most of the cases, but the roaches have finished practicing as the army is on the way for Stevo. And then the Stalkers have taken position here in front of the Immortals, but there are 3 spine crawlers and a lot of roaches. We do see 25 roaches. That might be enough roaches to repel. The Stalkers are going to go ahead and engage without the army, and that's a huge mistake here. He did lose 3 Stalkers. Good force fielding did split the army mostly in half, and these Immortals are tearing apart the front half. But Stevo is just out of units really to put in front of these Immortals, and he is out of force fields, and he will go ahead and lose his nerve and just back out of this fight. Probably a good choice, as he was definitely at a unit deficit there. He only had 3 Immortals and not enough force fields to really keep them safe. So he is turning around and going home. We see a lot more Stalkers being warped in on the front line. Stevo doing a good job keeping his unspent money low. And Dubside's Harvester count has climbed to 53, so he is 12 ahead of the enemy now, which is right where the Zerg wants to be. The Zerg always wants to be another base, and more drones ahead. The creep has stretched out to the gold here, so he has permanent vision over this, his half of the map. There is no observer accompanying Stevo's army, so he will not snipe any of these creep tumors, which he does have an observer on its way now, but he should have been denying these creep tumors a long time ago, in my opinion. We have 3 more pylons on the way as Stevo is supply blocked yet again. That seems to be the name of the game, as it appears that Dubside is also on the verge of supply block, and Stevo's money is starting to climb into that point where the bank really starts to love Stevo, because he's just invested so much money and at a very low interest rate. So Stevo, has to invest his money a little stronger, a little smarter, in my opinion. We do see Dubside's roaches have taken up post here on the right side of the map. We do have some more roaches. He's just going straight up roach, like he is not dicking around with it. And we do see Dubside is starting his 1-1 upgrades again. They were sniped there in that first engagement that costed him his lair, which he is just now getting. But Dubside, he is apparently a fan of roaches, man. All roach, all day. All day, day. And Stevo hasn't really... He has 5 immortals now, so he is getting to that point where his immortal count will be critical mass here soon. And if Dubside does not have an answer, he will be in trouble if he cannot counter these immortals. We do see Stevo picking up his 3rd here. At the 20-minute mark, he will be walking across the map and sniping those creep tumors finally. And this one Overlord, who did get his pay docked, will go ahead and get his life docked. And that doesn't even make any sense. But he's just having a rough day. He almost got fired, but then he just got killed. And Stevo, again, losing his nerve here. He is only 12 supply behind, which is not terrible. I mean, it's not a great position, but he will have +1 attack finishing. But Dubside has begun 2-2 and picked up a Hydra Den. So Dubside will be filling out the rest of his supply count here with Hydras, and Hydras just rip apart gateway units. So Stevo, whether he knows it or not, he is on a time limit here. As soon as those Hydras get out, if he does not have Colossus to answer them, he's going to be in a world of hurt, and a world of hurt like none other, man. But Dubside is also being very passive here. He will be supply blocked at 200 out of 200. 30 Hydras are in production and will be finishing at the same time, but we do see Stevo is moving in. If he can snipe all of these roaches, then he will have an easier time dealing with the Hydras, but it looks like he will not in time, as all 30 Hydras did pop at once. So Stevo's window of opportunity has shrunk to non-existent. Look at all these Hydras. This is a Roach Hydra. Like, this is a huge, huge death ball. And it looks like he's gonna straight up just waltz, swing, country, square dance, all over this 3rd. Not actually the army. I thought he was gonna charge right through the army. But he will go ahead and choose his form of dance over this expo. And Stevo's army is charging in, guns blazing. Stalkers first here, and they will be taken out by the roaches, and Dubside will hug the army, which is a great choice here, as most of these units on the back cannot fire in the great force fields, but it really doesn't matter here, as Stevo just cannot plow through that. Well, I mean, he just did, so I have to kind of eat my words here, but he could not get through all of the roaches to get to these Hydras. He is just now cleaning up the roach count, but these Hydras are just going to eat the Stalkers for breakfast, man. It's like a friggin' bowl of, not Raisin Flakes, Frosted Flakes, man. Hydras are to gateway units as I am to Frosted Flakes, man. Hydras just find gateway units just great. I'm sorry, the delivery was poor because I thought of that at the last minute, and I realized halfway through the delivery that it just wasn't even funny. And then because I couldn't commit to the delivery, it just... Oh my gosh, we did see a blink micro there, so Stevo did get blink here at the end, but it is going to be the end of his days here, as the Hydra count is just so high. These 2-2 Hydras just put on so much hurt here. They do 14 damage at that really fast pace, and without any Colossus, I really feel like if Stevo had just like stopped at 3 Immortals or 2 Immortals and just switched to Colossus, the Colossus would have dealt with the roaches just fine, in my opinion. And then he really would have he would have definitely had the advantage, as Colossus just rip apart Hydras. It's kind of disgusting, but he did not. He did stick with the Immortal, and we do see these Hydras kind of look cool with all the spikes out of their head, man. But that will do it for that game. I was definitely worried. I was worried Dubside had slipped and sent me a game where he lost, but alas, our boy pulled through. He did not disappoint. I was very scared when he lost this layer, but because the toss had not picked up an expo early enough, he really couldn't press that advantage. Like, he was still like, the only thing the toss really did by sniping this main up in here was even the playing ground. Like, he was behind, and then he leveled it out and evened himself out because he didn't have this expo down fast enough. So that, I believe, is the toss's downside, despite poor tech choices, even though he had perfect scouting. But that is all I have for this game. But stay tuned to the YouTube channel, because, I mean, you can't actually tune this in live, as I will cast another one by Dubside. So that will do it for this game.